There's magic in the backyard. Go and find it.
We'll head around to all the towns, head away, holiday. South Aussie with Cosi's on sit down. South Aussie with Cosi. In South Australia we will go, head away, holiday. South Australia all the way, South Aussie with Cosi.
G'day and welcome to another episode of South Aussie with Cosi. My name's Cosi. I was born in Murray Bridge. I grew up in Kadina. I went to Roseworthy Ag College and studied a Bachelor of Ag, which I actually never used. Cheers for paying for that, Dad. But now I devote my life solely to getting you guys to travel around South Australia more. I know I can make your life better, and best of all, I'll show you how to do it without spending too much money. Let's have a look at what's on the show. We'll catch up with the brothers from Langmeil Winery in Tanunda, talk SA with Maggie Beer, gosh I love her, and could this be SA's best burger? But first, it's from main course to the golf course. Attention golfing community, I've got something for you all that you're going to love. It's something that's brand new to the city. I'd never even heard of it before today, and it's called Super Golf. The best thing about it is, it's only minutes from the city centre.
Super Golf really is golf for everybody. You don't need to be a golfer. It's bigger clubs, it's bigger golf balls, it's bigger holes. So it really does simplify the game and make it attractive to a wide-ranging audience. We introduced Super Golf to try and attract a new audience to the Par 3 golf course. The Par 3 doesn't necessarily attract a lot of traditional golfers, and it really is a great facility sitting here waiting to be used. So try and get the facility utilised for social groups and birthday parties and so on.
Righto, Chris, well run me through how Super Golf differs from normal golf, obviously starting with the golf balls, massive size difference.
Yeah, definitely. So the ball is A, bigger,
Yep.
but also B, it's a different material as well. It's a polyurethane ball.
Like the softer ball, that's a plus.
Definitely, yeah. We haven't trialled it here yet in Pain Threshold, but it certainly is a little bit softer than the others.
And what else, the clubs?
Certainly, the clubs are a lot bigger,
Yep.
and a little bit simplified as well. So here, you know, we've got the wood, which Super Golf like to call the big boy.
The big boy.
We've got the longer distance iron, which is called the striker. Your wedge-like club, which is the jigger, and then of course the putter as well.
Yep.
And so you can see that the club head design quite a lot bigger.
Yeah, sure.
And certainly a lot easier to hit than a standard golf club as well.
You've made yourself a 2020 version of golf, haven't you?
We have indeed. That's what it is. It's golf for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Putting for a South Australian win over Victoria, the young fella from York Peninsula has a red hot go. And you pig of a thing. You know, I can't recommend this Super Golf anymore. I think it's fantastic. We've got a 3-year-old, 4-year-old and a 13-year-old. I can see the whole family playing out here. And at $8 a child for 2 hours, that's what it takes you to get around the course. That's really, really good value. Plus, free car parking. That's awesome as well. But for me, the icing on the cake has got to be the fact that after you finish a round of golf for $8 a child, you can actually hire bikes for free, including a helmet, from right here at the Par 3 golf course and go for a ride along the Torrens. You know, it's one of those things, it's so easy to do, and basically there's your Saturday afternoon planned.
The Adelaide golf course is very unique in Australia. There's very few golf courses this close to the CBD, and there really are no facilities this close to the CBD that involve 2 18-hole golf courses plus a Par 3/Super Golf facility as well.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
This week's Foodland Mighty South Aussie is Barossa legend Maggie Beer. Let's find out what she loves about SA.
My favourite place in South Australia to visit, except for the Barossa, I think would be Kangaroo Island and all that that has to offer. Best spot for coffee in South Australia has to be Chibo. I mean, what they have done in professional, consistent, great coffee is to be admired in South Australia. If I had $50 and that was all I had for a day in Adelaide, I would go straight to Botanic Gardens. No matter how hot it is, that is the most beautiful, cool and wonderful place with children, grandchildren, or just as a couple. And then all along North Terrace, the entrance into the museum is free, the art gallery, just that historic walk along there. The $50 will just be spent on having a snack somewhere.
A weekend away in the Barossa Valley for under $250 a couple? That can't be done. Yes, it can. And I'm going to show you exactly how we're doing it in a second. But before we go any further, I thought we might have a look at this gum tree here. You see, the Barossa Valley used to be surrounded by thousands of big gum trees, but back in the early days, they started, sadly, chopping them down. Have a look at this photo from the State Library. Look at the size of this gum tree. It's taken in 1900, and there they are cutting their way through a massive gum tree. Now, I reckon when it comes to holidaying around SA, it's all about reconnecting with those that you love. We don't do it nearly enough, and before you know it, your life's gone. I've got the ultimate location to stay and to reconnect with your partner, and that's where we're going now. The Barossa Valley is in your own backyard, and it's so jolly close to the CBD of Adelaide. I've found one of the cosiest accommodation places ever. You're going to love it.
The Barossa House is 25 years old. It's a hosted bed and breakfast, around about 2 or 3 minutes out of Tanunda, between Tanunda and Nuriupta. And we've got 4 rooms. All the rooms have got their own ensuite, tea and coffee facilities, TV, DVD, refrigerator, air conditioning, and complimentary port and chocolates. We like to meet our guests and show them in and give them an experience. Some people like self-contained, but they don't really meet anyone. They pick up a key and then they leave by leaving the key. We greet our guests. We make that personal contact. We also do a fully hosted cooked breakfast for them, eggs, bacon, tomatoes, sausages and mushrooms, with all the cereals and yogurts, tea and coffee, of course. The Barossa Valley, it's just so peaceful here. You just haven't got the hustle and bustle of the traffic. I mean, we're on a main road, but we're set back from the main road that there's not a lot of noise. But, you know, in the middle of the wineries, good wine, good food, good accommodation. What more can you want in life?
Laura and Lucy are doing exactly what I love, exploring the Barossa Valley. Now, Lucy, whereabouts are you from?
I live in Western Australia in Perth, so
I can hear the accent, I was going to say.
Oh, well, I'm visiting Laura on holidays.
Ah, good. Now, where have you been around the Barossa?
We've been to Tanunda.
Yep.
And we cycled from Nuriupta today.
Good.
So, yeah, it's beautiful.
What is it you love about the Barossa?
The wineries.
Yeah, the wineries first, but the scenery most.
Scenery,
Yeah.
yeah, it's unique. It's a beautiful place to visit.
You don't have nothing like this in Western Australia, do you? Except for Margaret River.
Blonde coffee is a really integral part of our local community. It's a place where people can feel comfortable and meet, and a lot of what we do here at Blonde is about honesty and integrity and being open about what we do.
What I love about this place is their passion for using South Australian produce.
Our iced coffee is a really good example of that. So the coffee is roasted for us in Nord in Adelaide at Rio Coffee, and the milk is all South Australian, and the ice cream is from Laura in the mid-north, so using only Golden North ice cream here. So a prime example of 3 quality ingredients that come together in a really lovely iced coffee. We do an amazing Eggs Benedict actually, using Mount Pleasant's ham as well and the local free-range eggs that we use, and we also make our own hollandaise sauce. So we employ 28 local people here, and we have them making as much of the produce as possible. So everything from our pesto to our mayonnaise to our hollandaise sauce, and every meal is prepared individually when you order at the till.
Well, the food's good, the coffee's good, but what's so important about making time to come to the Barossa?
It's really good to get away, recharge the batteries, look at life from a different point of view, because you never know what's around the corner, and it's about embracing the moment and making the most of every second that you have with your family and those people that you love. And what better opportunity to come to the Barossa and surround yourself with this beautiful scenery and amazing produce.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Welcome back, folks. We're doing the Bernie Lewis Challenge, 2 days, 1 night in the Barossa for under $250 a couple. You know, the food industry here in the Barossa is just going bananas, and it's kind of as though the region knows that food is the future of the wine industry. And this is pretty cool to think that the food that you eat that's grown here in the Barossa comes from the same soil as the wine that you're drinking. Think about that. It's pretty special. Now, you can't come to the Barossa Valley without visiting a winery, and the best part of all, they're totally free.
Langmeil Winery really dates back to 1842 when the village of Langmeil was first established. Here at the winery we've focused really mainly on premium wine, and it has been a winery since the 1920s when it was originally called Paradale. We're red wine predominant, and I guess hailing from the Barossa, Shiraz is our main focus. And so we've got, you know, entry-level wines at around the $20, $25 mark, right up to our flagship, which is our single vineyard, the Freedom, which is ancient old vineyard planted in the 1840s. So we keep that as a standalone. One of the interesting things about the development of Tanunda as a town, it actually came from the original village of Langmeil, and firstly it was during the First World War when any towns had a German name, they changed it. So the township of Langmeil became the township of Tanunda. Well, something very special about our winery is we do have 3.5 acres of ancient old vineyards planted in the 1840s. It's quite unique in the world of wine, and the Barossa or South Australia has never had phylloxera, which is a nasty pest which eats the roots of grapevines. So we've got very old vineyards because we've never had that pest. It's a pleasure to come to work, and you've got surroundings like this. It's a great industry to work in, and yeah, it's all good. This is what you call working, Cosi. Cheers to that, Paul.
Cheers, mate. I couldn't rate this winery any higher. It is simply awesome, only a kilometre from Tanunda. And perhaps my favourite thing of all, the cellar door actually used to be old horse stables. And horses, well, they were integral in setting up the Barossa Valley all those years ago. This photo from 1912 shows horses loaded with grapes outside Seppelsfield Winery waiting to be unloaded. And this photo, well, it shows how winery tours used to be done. No minibuses here, my friends. It was all horse-drawn carts. See, winery tours were even massive way back then. But sadly, it didn't always go so smoothly. This wagon accident happened just after 1912, right here in the Barossa Valley. I have totally fallen in love with this ad about the Barossa Valley.
Take a little walk to the edge of town and go.
I think it really highlights the rich culture of this area, the food, the wine, the rawness of everything coming from the earth. But the thing I love most about this ad is the story behind the local Adelaide girl, Brooklyn from Forestville, who suddenly found herself in a TV commercial.
One Sunday I was working at JR's, Surf and Ski in the city, and a customer came up to the counter. She was like, "Can I ask you a really weird question?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And she was like, "Have you ever considered doing any TV work?" And I just laughed, and so did the girl I was working with. She was like, "Oh, I'm from a casting agency. Like, do you mind if I take a few photos?" And so had a few photos done, and then she called me a few weeks later, and then I had an interview, and then I was on location here a few weeks later.
A dusty black coat with a red right hand.
Yeah, we were at Kingston Estate, and there was a massive patch of mud. I didn't really know what was going to happen, and first I was just playing with the dirt, and then they put a piece of plastic down because they didn't want to get my dress dirty. So I was laying in that. In the end, the plastic didn't work, so they took that away, and they had a camera above me, and they were just asking me to be an earthworm and roll around in the dirt, so that was pretty fun.
Stick with me, folks, because coming up after the break, we continue our look around the Barossa Valley. But before I let you go, you've got to check out this photo I just saw in this magazine. A local mag, a cracking photo of the Barossa Valley. Take a look at that. See you shortly.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Well, here we are in Nuriupta, and you know, Chem Plus, well, they're all about your health. Chem Plus are really keen to see South Aussies making good health choices. The first spot I'm about to show you is a place where you can make plenty of good health choices. It's the Barossa Farmers Market. Now, I put it up on the South Aussie with Cosi Facebook page. Where's the best spot to visit in the Barossa? This place came up time and time again, and the best part about it is it costs absolutely nothing.
Barossa Farmers Market has been running for over 10 years now. We're the second oldest farmers market in the state. We started off basically as a way for the locals to be able to sell their produce direct to other locals. There's a great story about the foundation of the market, which is that Angela Clifford, who was the first chair, was driving home from the supermarket one day and she drove past an old farmer ripping out his entire apricot orchard. So she got out of her car and said, you know, what's going on? And he said, well, I can't sell it. Everything else is being imported from overseas. I can't get a decent price for my produce. And she just went, this is crazy. You know, this is a fourth generation apricot orchard and we should do something about that. So that's really how the market started, was to give small regional producers an opportunity to sell their produce at a great price to other locals. And it's just grown and grown and grown from there, which is wonderful.
I run into Alan here. He's from Steiny's Traditional Metwurst in Tanunda, mate. Now, tell us about your range. What do you got here?
We have 7 different metwursts.
Yep.
There's a plain, brandy, port wine, garlic, coriander and garlic, and spicy garlic, and cracked pepper and garlic.
But there's one in particular I have to ask you about. The Ring of Fire. What on earth is that?
Well, that's a nice meaty one with a lot of chilli in it.
Yeah.
And if it's not hot enough for you, we have the afterburner up there, which is that one dipped in chilli paste.
The afterburner. I don't even want to know what happens when you eat the afterburner. We're going to end the interview now.
It's got a memory to it.
Good luck to you, buddy. Take care.
Cheers.
Now, Gully Gardens are doing exactly what I love. They're selling local produce. What have you guys got going here?
Predominantly, it's all our own fruit that we've got here. And we've got the apricots, the peaches, the pears and the prunes.
We're particularly famous for our market burger. I flatter myself, but we are particularly famous for our market burger. And I think the reason for that is that we use it as an opportunity to showcase the best produce from the market. So Eleni bakes these amazing bread rolls that just are so good. And then we've got Michael's Beyond Free Range milk-fed pork, which is the bacon. And then we've got free-range eggs. We've got spinach that comes from Al, who's another stall holder. We've got chutneys. You can choose whatever you want to put on there, whether you want like a spicy tomato sauce. And it just comes in this like beautiful package, and it's like the breakfast of champions.
Just how good is it? Well, there's actually only one way to find out. That's good. It tastes like South Australia.
The great thing about what we do here is that it brings together everything that the Barossa is well known for, is that we have this amazing produce, we've got great people, we're really walking our walk in terms of the authenticity and the integrity of what we're selling really shows through in the final product, and that's really important.
Well, that wraps up the Bernie Lewis $250 challenge. 2 days and 1 night in the Barossa, under $250. How'd we go? Accommodation was $175 a night, and that includes breakfast. Farmers Market was free, the parking was free. Market burgers for lunch, $16. Menkler's Hill Lookout was free. Petrol, $28. The extra food was $22. And a visit to Langmeil Winery, well, that was free. Coffees at Blonde, $9. Pretty much smack bang on $250 a couple, which is $125 a head for a weekend in the Barossa. So far on South Aussie with Cosi, we've given away 17 holidays in South Australia. The good news is I've got 11 more to give away. Do you want to win one? Well, it's really easy, but first, take a listen to the last lot of South Aussie with Cosi viewers, how they reacted when I called up to say, you've won a free holiday.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, you're joking. Oh, that's fantastic. I never win anything. Such fantastic. Oh, fantastic.
That is great. That's fantastic.
You could be the next person I'm calling because I've got 11 more holidays to give away in South Australia, including a free weekend at the Wallaroo Marina Apartments on York Peninsula. Fire up the old Facebook, like the South Aussie with Cosi page and enter. Only takes a couple of secs and you could jag yourself a free SA holiday. I'll see you on Facebook and good luck. Well, that's it for another episode of South Aussie with Cosi. I'm imploring you all to travel. Please travel. So many people say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and so many don't. Reconnect with your loved ones, book a holiday, and you'll thank me later. Now, we're finishing this episode with something really special. I ran into these girls, 4 sisters, would you believe, from Campbelltown. They're also great singers, and they wanted to sing the end of South Aussie with Cosi. So, girls, take it away.
Action.
2 days and 1 night in the Barossa Valley for under $2. That's cheap. I'm imploring you all. I don't even know if imploring's a word. Is it? Good.
South Aussie with Cosi is proudly brought to you by the South Australian Tourism Commission.
I like possums.